The next question, His Holiness, is from Professor Valerie Fagin. He's the editor and professor at the AUT University, Auckland, New Zealand. He's the editor of Neuroepidemiology. Dr. Valerie, can you ask your question, please?
Thank you. Your Holiness, given the growing body of evidence demonstrating direct links between open animal markets, industrial farming, and human health, including COVID and other similar pandemics, what would be your message to the governments?
Basically, if you judge our teeth, the shape of our teeth, and our nail, basically, we human body more equipped with vegetarian, not meat. Look, animal, tigers, leopards, these who always, their life depend on eating meat. Accordingly, their teeth and nail equipped accordingly. Then deer, some other vegetarian animal, or their teeth, their nail, or not like tiger. So we judge our physical sort of situation. We more or less belong to the vegetarian animal. But you see, we too much desire, and then eventually, you see, I think in Tibet, like Tibet, in northern Tibet, no vegetable, no fruit. Even the barley also, you see, very rare. Then, such circumstances, the nomad area, there's no other way except, you see, they depend on animal meat, animal milk, like that. But then, basically, we belongs, as I mentioned earlier, vegetarian type. So now India, the vegetarian, there are many vegetarian, and Indian food, vegetarian food, excellent. So now we should pay more attention about, you see, non-vegetarian, because of vegetarianism. India, millions of people, basically vegetarian. When I first came, the poultry almost not exist. A family, few hens, then chicken. Otherwise, you see, no big sort of
poultry farm. Poultry.
Or poultry. Now, gradually, in the name of development, more and more poultry. So, at least India and those countries who can pay more attention about vegetarian food, then, you see, should not sort of pay more attention, spend more money for making poultry. And similarly, in West, beef farm. It's really terrible. So basically, we belongs to vegetarian sort of physical. So now we make more effort for the development of vegetable and fruit. That also, you see, some sort of also the connection about environment. Beef farm is for ecology's viewpoint also very harmful. So like a bee farm. Then some difficult thing is fish. People, those sort of concerned people, seems to say no feeling. They also painful experience of fish. I think they consider it just like a vegetable. But in some area, their whole life depend on fishing. There's a story in Tibet on one lake, Yamdrotho. There's some family, their whole sort of livelihood depend on fishing. So the story says one great practitioner, yogi, he sort of pray, no longer fish. He some kind of communicate with Naga, you know Naga. There's some special sort of what's it, spiritual also the being in who control lake water. So he sent a message, should not make more fish. Then gradually number of fish reduce. Then some family whose whole life used to depend on fish, then they facing starvation. So they complain to that yogi. Then he say, oh, fish life, human life more important. So then he allowed, there is no other way for livelihood, only fishing. So you should be exception. So those people, a nomad area and cold climate, there's no other way to live except on animal. That is something different. But now today, we can develop more vegetable, more fruit, more sort of the vegetarian food. So, and reduce farming because of beef farming. Ecologically, also you see, good. Beef farm, very bad. And then, in order to develop vegetarianism, instead of beef farm, big beef farm, we should develop a vegetable garden, I feel. So I myself, of course, when I first reached India as Tibetan, usually kasadi, a non-vegetarian. After I reached India, 64, I give up. I determined, now I should be vegetarian, no longer eating meat. So at that time, one occasion, I visit Japan with my elder brother. When we lunch together, or food together, he always teasing me. He enjoy meat. I'm vegetarian at that time. So he always teasing me like that. So next, about 20 months, I remain vegetarian. Then I developed the problem, jaundice. The whole body become yellow. So later, I sort of express with jokes. At that time, I become truly living Buddha. Whole body become yellow. not through practice of dharma, but through illness, my body become yellow. Then Western allopathic doctors and Tibetan doctors, you see, they suggest to me, now maybe better to return original sort of what's the food style. So that's my story. And then I, because of that sort of, then you see my sort of jaundice, kasa dimi global, kasa tiba ka
Gallbladder.
gallbladder. Oh, you see, stone develop because I strict remain vegetarian, and according to my Indian friend, I took a lot of nuts, so it developed some problem in my gallbladder, and then finally went to Delhi hospital, and then my whole gallbladder removed. So sometimes I jokingly telling people, this person, you see, physical looks sort of healthy, but no longer one important, physical element. Gallbladder no longer there. But okay. So then I return the original sort of the style. Occasionally eat some sort of say non-vegetarian food. But meantime, all our major monastic institutions in India, their common kitchen should serve vegetarian food. So they implemented that. Then also many of our colleges, also you see follow vegetarian food. So I myself, because of the illness, you see, become non-vegetarian. But meantime, I create promotion of vegetarianism. So now I want to sort of suggestion, beef farm. In India, I think better, but in Western nation, a lot of beef farm. Now that I think eventually should reduce, and the place use beef farm should be because of the vegetable garden. So that I think two ways some benefit. One way, as I mentioned earlier, ecology. Beef farm very bad for ecology. So that's my view.
Thank you very much.
The next question, His Holiness, is from Dr. Danilo Santella. He is a yoga professor and the head of research in University of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Over to you, Dr. Danilo. Please unmute your mic.
Thank you, Your Holiness and distinct colleagues. It's an honor to be here. Your Holiness, since Your Holiness is both fond of science and also a keeper of one of the most secular traditions, what would you consider to be the greatest challenge for those who seek to find scientific evidence regarding applications of traditional practices such as yoga, Ayurveda, meditation in healthcare?
I think basically, as a result of my also discussion with modern scientists, they up to late 20th century, they never pay attention about mind, about emotion. Even they, you see, no idea about mind, only brain. Now, later part, some scientists now actually carrying some investigation, and some practitioner who can meditate, you see, few hours. When they meditating, some equipment put on their head, they found some differences. Also the brain movement while they meditate, single-pointed meditation, the brain activities much less, like that. So then gradually, now many scientists now accepted beside brain, there is mind who can control our brain. So for that, meditation is something very useful. So now some scientists now really, you see, carry some research work. And then also, in some cases, you see some Tibetan practitioner, when they passed away, their also breathing stop. Then the movement of heart stop. Then blood circulation about brain also stop. But body remain, sometimes even few weeks remain very fresh, including my own senior teacher,
13 days.
13 days. And then some practitioner and also scholar in South India about
21. 21 days.
19 days. 19.
19 days. Physical remain very fresh. So now some Russian scientists, also some American scientists, now they left here some equipment, person who generally passed away, no longer breathing or no longer heart beating, but body remain very fresh. So such people, now last few days, you see some people, you see remain like that. In South India also. So one Russian, I think Moscow University, some Russian scientists, you see, they also now pay much attention about this case. So now, among the scientists, while they accepted beside brain, there is mind. And with that mind, you see the important practice of compassion. So now, some scientists also now paying more attention about practice of compassion, like that. So in now modern time, now in last few decades, now among the scientists, the word of compassion, now they use the compassion like that. Previously, you see, people consider compassion is religious matter. Now, compassion is for physical physical comfort, physical health. Compassion, something important. then ultimately world need more compassion. Now here, one so good thing is some scientists, they say we are social animal. Any social animal, you see, from birth, they have some kind of sense of concern of their own community, because their whole life depends on community. So we are social animal. Other animal, also you see, those social animal, by nature, you see, they have more sense of concern about their own community, like some animal. So we belong social animal. So by nature, you see, we human being more compassionate. As soon as we're born, our life entirely depends on mother's compassion and the family members' compassion. Then the family also, you see, their livelihood depends on community. So now, judging that sort of because of the reality, now we 7 billion human beings are social animal, individual human being. Their life depends on the community. In the sense of community, now today, Eastern world depends on West, similarly North and South. So now, national boundary not important. Important is we all 7 billion are human brothers, sisters. One of my main commitment is try to promote human compassion or human loving kindness, irrespective of whether religious person or non-religious person, or even within religion, this religion, that religion, in spite of different philosophy, different tradition, all religion carry one message of love, forgiveness, tolerance. So, in spite of different philosophical view, the main message is same. So therefore, then now large number, I think out of 7 billion, perhaps, I think a few billions non-believer. But doesn't matter whether believe religion or not. We are human beings. We live side by side. So we need human sense of concern of other human beings. We really need 7 billion human beings are same human being, and we have to live together. So we should, and all 7 billion human beings, as a social animal, there is sort of, also the nature sort of naturally some kind of potential of altruism, taking care about other human brothers, sisters. So my commitment is try to promote human compassion, human altruism on the sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. That is, I think, the best way to bring peaceful world, or spend more money, making more weapon, or buying more weapon, not human way. These are serving human anger, human sort of also the destructive emotion. So on the basis of oneness of 7 billion human beings, then we can really develop peaceful world. So now, this is the politically also now these views are very important. All this violent war, so based on national interest. So now, when we talk about 7 billion human beings, oneness of 7 billion human beings, then the very basis of violence not there. We all same human being. I want happy life. They also want happy life. So one human being try to kill other human being. Impossible. Impossible. Isn't it? So through education, we can really develop peaceful world.